egg in there for you. Is that? And I picked it up. That thing is heavy too.
Yeah.
It's super heavy. Okay, hold on. Zoom is going live. I say this every week. There's a delay here, and I can't ever catch up on knowing when the delay is actually launched. Done. So 2 seconds. Okay, pause this, or at least turn this down. Hold please, everybody. Hold please. We had to mute us here. Okay, well, it'll kick on. Okay, everybody, welcome to the I Love Coaching Community Monday Mojo. My name is Adam Roach, and I am here with my guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jazmin Morrison, and I am an operations admin coach for Adam. And I run my own business, and I help real estate agents with processes, businesses or projects on the side, and just helping run their business and amplify their business. So
now you know how I love to have fun, Jazmin, and I'm going to say that was really good, though very modest. Everybody, I Love Coaching Community. Jazmin is a badass. Let's just put it that way. When it comes to the operation coaching side, when it comes to helping people out, let me shut that down right there. When it comes to helping the support-based people in our businesses become even better so they can actually empower the principals to continue to grow and make their business even more profitable, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, today we're going to talk, though, you're going to talk, and I'll ask the questions, but you really want to come in here and share with everybody in the I Love Coaching community about customer experiences. So as we transition in this shifting world, whether you're in the real estate world, whether you're in the recruiting world, whether you're in any business world, customer experience is number one. So take us down a path of where you want to coach us up today in that customer experience space.
Yeah, I think we really get ourselves in a rut of maybe asking the wrong questions. And I know before we started this call, Adam, I asked you if you had heard of the book. It's called QBQ, or Question Behind the Question.
Mm-hmm.
And really, if you just read the first chapter and be done, I would be happy. But the first chapter is this guy goes into a restaurant, he orders a Coke, they don't serve Coke. The waiter's like, "We don't serve Coke, is that okay?" And he's like, "Oh no, that's fine. I'll just take, do you want a Pepsi instead?" And he's like, "No, I'll just take water." Like, just disappointed,
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll give you a water." And then he disappears. The waiter disappears. He comes back with a Coke. And he's like, "Where'd you get this Coke?" And he's like, "Well, I went to the grocery store." And he's like, "You're working. How'd you go to the grocery store?" He's like, "Who paid for it?" And he's like, "Well, I paid for it." Like, he's like, "But it's lunch hour. Like, how did you do it?" It was like, "How'd you do that?" He's like, "Well, I told my manager to go get you a Coke." And I mean, the whole book just goes into, like, we're asking the wrong questions. And I think we set ourselves up for the wrong standards and the wrong expectations. And I don't think we hold ourselves accountable for the standards of our own industry, right? I think we get stuck on the questions of why do my clients pick crappy lenders? Why do my clients do this? Or why do my clients do that? And we need to take responsibility back and take accountability back and control back. And because we can control some of those things with our processes and our procedures and our systems. And that's what I'm really passionate about is we can educate our clients to choose better lenders and to maybe have better conversations around those situations so that we don't go down that path every time of choosing a bad lender, which then leads us to maybe a bad transaction and all these things that happen after that domino effect, right? So I think just asking the right questions when we get in a rut of all these maybe bad things that are happening during a client experience that might not be going well, I think is really what I'm passionate about. So I don't know if that brings up any other questions or any thoughts.
Well, here's what I'm going to say to that is that was brilliant, right? Number one, I love to listen to questions. And we in the I Love Coaching community, and you know this too, in the I Love Coaching as a coach, we talk about questions all the time. The power of the questions and the pyramid of questions, with why being the weakest and who being the strongest, right? And love that, because so many people maybe listening and or people that we've coached come up, well, why don't my clients do this? Or why do my clients do that? So that was the first thing that I heard you say there. The second thing that I heard, which was between the lines there, was when we do this the right way, when we teach and empower our clients to have that Coke type experience, guess what they're going to do, everybody who's listening? Refer us, right? They're going to refer us. Okay, so in this space here of coaching and teaching, do you want to do kind of like a role play type session here, or do you just want to go ahead and just lecture them? I'm okay either way.
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I took a whole bunch of notes. I was just brain jumping a whole bunch of ideas, and let's see here.
Well, what if we did this? You share your ideas and you share your thoughts. I want to pretend as if I'm a principal here, right? I'm a principal owner of my real estate brokerage, my team, whatever it is, and coach me as if I need to coach my ops person to be better at the customer experience space. What would you say to me? How would you guide me? Or you can pretend I'm the ops person, and what would you do there? Your choice.
Yeah, I guess my first question to you would be, where do you think, I mean, I think in this industry, and especially where we're going, you can't just be good at real estate. We need to be good at a couple of things, right? So where would you think are your weakest points and your greatest points for opportunity in this industry? Are we lacking in maybe the customer service, the maybe turnaround time or communication, or just education of our clients? What areas, Adam, do you feel where we could improve our customer experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, we'll pause the role play there because I think that brings up a great point. How many people, whether ops managers or other principals, are actually auditing their systems? Yeah, they probably just put their systems in place and say, we've got a system. They don't actually audit to see how effective it really is, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some people are like, yeah, I'm good at real estate and that's good enough. And unfortunately, I think as we go into the shift, it's not going to be good enough. Your hairdresser has to be good at cutting your hair and customer service and invoicing and making sure they get you out the door in a timely manner and. So we have to be good at all the things, but we don't have to do them all at once. We can pick one thing this quarter and focus on that to make it better this quarter. And then pick the next thing and pick the next thing, and slowly making sure our full customer experience is great.
Hey, curious, you didn't pick a hairdresser there on purpose, did you?
No.
That wasn't like, okay, just making sure we didn't go down that path. All right, I'm kidding. Okay, so let's go back to that role play then. So you're coming to me and you're basically saying, hey, principal or ops, where are you the greatest? Where's your greatest superpower when it comes to your customer experience? Would that be a fair question?
Yeah.
Okay. What if they don't know? I mean, what does that even mean? How do I go about it? Now I'm talking about as the principal. I'll talk as the principal and ops at the same time. How do I measure that? How do I know where I'm great?
I mean, I think what you have to go back to is maybe what people regurgitate back to you, right? In your reviews, or even other agents and other ops people, like, wow, you guys are doing this and it looks so awesome. So what people see from the outside is probably, you're probably doing it to some extent well, right? If other people are noticing it. So maybe start there.
That's good. I like that. What do people see from the outside, and what are your reviews telling you that you're doing well?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we won't know that unless we ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say in your experience as not only being in this role, but also being a coach in this role? What would you say are some of the areas that you're seeing are pretty consistent where teams are usually really good with real estate customer experience?
That's a great question. I mean, I think the stuff they do every day. It's that listing presentation, the buyer presentation, the teams that are really turning business over and over and over and over again. I think when we get into those one-off situations, that gets a little tricky, and our customer service and our customer experience might not be the best because we don't do it that often. But I think when the stuff that we do daily, that's where our customer service is our experience is probably the best.
Yeah.
So if you're doing new construction every day, that's probably where your customer experience is probably the best, because you're doing it every day and you've thought about it the most.
Right. Okay, now let's talk to the new person, right? Let's talk to the launching, let's say someone who's been in the real estate space for, I don't know, let's go with 2 or 3 years. They've had some moderate success and now they want to get better. Okay. What type of process should someone put in place so that they can bring what we're talking about here alive?
Yeah, I would write down everything you do from start to finish, because I think first step is self-awareness of your process in general. I mean, I think a lot of people just go through the real estate process and don't even realize everything they do from start to finish. And a lot of people, when I first start hiring or training an admin, they're like, they don't realize everything they do. So I think writing that down is the first step, and then making tweaks and changing things. And it's a living and breathing process. It doesn't have to be a cement document that you put in a stone and it has to be, this is how you do it for the rest of your life. It can change, and it needs to change. So writing it down, looking at it, analyzing it, having other people look at it too to see what you're missing. I think that's where I'd start.
Yeah. Gosh, that's so good. And here, what I wanted to say there is I'm taking notes. Yes, on the back of a balance sheet. Is how do you get a client to slow down long enough to do something like that? Let me ask a better question. What would you say, coach, to coach me up that my hair just is on fire all the time? I'm just going. How do I do that, coach? What would you suggest I do?
I mean, nice Jazmin, I think, has to go away.
Good.
And I had to get mad at a client the other day, but if this is important to you, if this business is important to you, I need you to care about it as much as you want me to care about it. And if, especially some of my clients who are paying me to do some of these things, it's like, I need you to take 5 minutes and look at this seriously, because I don't know, I feel clients just want to pay me money, and it's like, great, I'll take your money, but I don't want it if you don't care about it as much as I do. And I think that's the hard part. Is I don't know if I answered your question or not, but
no, you did, because you basically said, hey, listen, do you want to wing this business, or do you want to be purposeful and intentional with it?
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when we, from my experience as well, when we are either coaching or experiencing this in our own self and in our business, if we're not slowing down to understand our processes, which again, this all relates to customer service and customer experience, if we're not slowing down long enough to understand what we do from the starting point to the ending point and everything there in between, you're winging it.
Yeah.
Right. And how do you scale a winged business? You can't, and you won't, and you don't. Right. And then here's what happens. What happens after that? So here we go. We can coach this up. Is go ahead, right? Wing your business, and then come back to me in about 2 years when you reach a ceiling of success and you can't break through it because all you've done is winged it. And now you hit that ceiling. What happens after you hit a ceiling? You go backwards, you go down, and then you get complacent, and then you get frustrated, then you get bored, and then guess what? You're out of the business.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That was really, really good. See, you get me all excited. You get me all fired up, and I just want to keep going on this type of stuff. Okay, let's just have a candid conversation. What's the importance of customer experience? Why do we want to focus on customer experience? What truly is the motivating factor to focus on customer experience?
What's the motivating factor to focus on customer experience?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Sure.
Oh, I mean, to me, that's the business. It's your people. It's your people. If you don't have the people, you don't have a business. So if you aren't treating your people well, and if they aren't having a good time being in business with you, you aren't going to stay in business. Yeah. So I don't know. It's that simple to me, but at the same time, I know it's not that simple to other people.
Well, but here's what I just heard you say there. You got to find out and determine that motivating factor for yourself, right? Are you in this business to be transactional, or are you in this business to create a business? Because ultimately that is going to determine the answer there of what does customer experience mean to you. And at the end of the day, the customer experience as our database is our vault, right? Our vault is where all of our gold are. We need to get into that vault. What I tell my clients from time to time is how many people or how many gold bars in your vault are doubling every day? How many people are actually referring you business? How many times do we teach our people how to treat us? Not very well. Which, gosh, I hope they assume that I hope they assume that I know I want a lead, right? Or a referral. It's kind of fun.
But we have to tell them. And I think that's one of those questions I was thinking about too, is why did my best friend just use a different realtor?
Yes.
And that's not the question we should be asking. It's how did it get to that point, or how did they not know to ask me, or how did they not feel comfortable, or how there's other questions underlying there of how it got to that point.
Right.
And the easy question is, why did they not use me?
Yep.
But
that is definitely the wrong question. So I think the net that we can take away from this is the customer experience is so daggone important, specifically right now. It's funny because we don't hear customer, gosh, what was that old terminology before customer experience? It was customer satisfaction. Is that what it was? Yeah. We don't hear customer satisfaction anymore. All we hear is customer experience, right? And what are we doing so that individual, again, if we're talking about the real estate vertical, what are we doing so that individual never uses another realtor again? They only use us.
Yep.
Right? They only use us. Fascinating. Oh, I could sit here and talk to you for hours about customer experience. Why don't you give all of our listeners here maybe your top 3 things, your top 3 advices, your top 3 thought processes as you're coaching someone on what actions they should take to continue to build their customer experience.
Yeah, I think kind of like I was mentioning earlier is let's do an audit of kind of all of your systems that you have going, and kind of maybe grade yourself on each one, like 1 to 10. How's the customer experience on those things? And maybe make notes of where it could be better or where it's already awesome. And it doesn't have to be right now. You don't have to fix it right now. I know now is not a great time. Things are really, really busy, but we can make little steps of progress, or just pick one thing this quarter to work on and make that little area in your business, make that one a little better, make that customer experience, and that, whether it's referrals or the buying process, or lender education, or vendors, or whatever it is, make that little piece just slightly better. And it will only make your whole experience that much better. So just, I think, don't get overwhelmed with the whole process, because it is very overwhelming and there's so much to do. And just put it on your calendar. Maybe take a little slice and do it every other week, once a week for 15 minutes. Just think about it. And make sure you do it, because it is very, very important what people are thinking about your business, what people think about you, and make sure you're asking for reviews. If you're not getting feedback, then you'll never know. You will never know how you're doing, and people aren't willing to maybe share that with you if we don't give them the opportunity to say something. And one of my favorite opportunities is at the end of a transaction, obviously. There's other points during the transaction where you might want to ask, like right after they have an accepted offer, hey, ask for a review because they're really excited. But also right after the deal, there's so many points for value right after there. You can send a copy of the CD. You can send an email with a copy of the tax document to go January of the next year. And then reminding them to do a review then as well if they haven't already. So there's so many points for opportunity that I think people just drop the ball because they're like, I'm not going to do it at all because it's also overwhelming. But if you just pick one thing and do it, and then maybe next year pick a second thing and do it, just keep building on it and it will just be a great experience.
Yep. I love that. Absolutely love that. So the action items here is list out everything that you do from start to finish. That'd be number one.
Yep.
Let me back up. Put it on your calendar first.
Yeah. Put on your
then
calendar.
Schedule it and then go do it. All the systems and grade yourself.
Yep.
You could pick one thing and make it better. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit onto that one real quick. Is look for areas that are underperforming.
Yep.
And if you are not the master of that, go leverage it out.
Yeah.
Go leverage that out. And then
there's so many companies out there that will write handwritten notes, that will do whatever you want them to do. You can totally leverage that.
Yep. Totally. Well, we're totally getting into a coaching session here. Isn't this fun? We're totally getting into a coaching session. The first thing that just came to my head when you said that is, gang, I want you to realize your shoulders are only so big. And you can only handle so much. And here's what happens. When these shoulders get full, because you have so many moving parts, you know who suffers? Your clients.
Yeah.
Yep. Your clients suffer. And if your clients suffer, that means the gold in your vault is diminishing because it's not duplicating. And the last thing you said was ask for reviews, which reviews are then feedback, right?
Yep.
Ooh, good stuff. Good stuff. Let me see here. Let me refresh this page and see if we have any questions. Now, how do people come find you? How do people come learn about you? Where can they come talk to Coach Jazmin?
Yes, I have my own personal page. My name is spelled Jaz, like a zebra, Min, and then my last name's Morrison, Morrison. I also have my business page. It's Amplify Agent Services. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm not really on Twitter. But yeah, you can find me on Adam's page. You can find me anywhere. You can also email me as well. I think my information is on a post recently shared on Adam's Instagram and Facebook as well. So.
Yep, that's right. That's right. The featured coach. Here you are. I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
And later this week, you and I are going to be recording a podcast, and it's going to go deeper into this, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Give them a little sizzle. What do you want to cover on that podcast? Give them just a little sizzle so that they are anxiously waiting to download that.
I honestly have, so I think we not only need to think about our customers, we also need to think about how we interact with our agents. And I think where agents are dropping the ball, a huge opportunity is how we interact with other agents when it comes to agent referrals, agent to agent referrals. And I have a 5-step system that I would love to share with you guys on the perfect touch point for an agent to agent referral that will guarantee that they send you more referrals. Like, what better way to get referrals than through agents just handing them to you?
Right.
So there's no reason there should not be a better process in place. And I feel like when we get agent referrals, people just drop the ball and it's like, here's a referral.
Agreed.
There needs to be a process in place, and I have a 5-step process for that. So I'd love to share that on our podcast.
Okay, perfect. So everybody there, you heard it. So come download our podcast, which we haven't recorded yet, but we're going to this week. It should drop this week or next week, and it'll be all about the 5-step system to increase your referrals from other agents. And we also will continue to talk about the customer experience. Jazmin, thank you. Grateful for you.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here and your time and your energy and your knowledge. And we will be recording that podcast here shortly.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thanks everybody for joining us. See ya. Bye.
Bye.